vitally important to understand how things work. I'm up here at the pond, and this is the time of the year that we clean out the sediment and make some adjustments to the pond. Often when I talk about it, people think it's a fishing pond. And so when they come up here and they see it's just a hole, they're perplexed. Well, what happened was when we first moved here, I noticed that when the rains would come, that the water would just rush down the hill. It would flood out my neighbor's barn, his driveway. And so we began to kind of berm up some dirt to kind of slow that down. Well, it had a double effect. By slowing it down, it didn't flood out his driveway and his barn, but it also began to percolate and we're hoping recharge the aquifer. So seemed to be a kind of a good thing. So every year we would make it a practice to kind of clean this thing out, expand it, enlarge it a bit, and that's what we've done. But by opening up this hole, we've invited settlement to come, and so that's something that we have to deal with and figure out where all this dirt ends up going. And so each year it's something that needs to be addressed. I want to take this moment to thank Brother Richard Wharton. He allows us to use his Bobcat to take care of this annually. He also allows us to use it for Rafa Ranch, and I'm very thankful for that. If you don't support his ministry, Chapel Builders of California, reach out to Brother Richard and support him. Now, what about the plan for our lives? Because most people seem to be rather confused about how things work. What do I mean by that? Well, they have the idea that if God is in control of all things, then all things that happen are from God. Well, one of the things that God did is he allowed free will. And that was kind of like opening up opportunities for blessing here. So man could choose God, and in that choice, what we see is genuine love and relationship. And that is absolutely awesome. That's like the water coming in here. It's just amazing. But also, man could choose not to accept God, to reject him. And that is what we know as sin. And when that happens, then tragedy comes into man's life. That's when dysfunction comes into man's life. Sickness, strife, all of that comes into man's life. Not good. So we have that choice. But if we don't understand how things work, then we're going to blame God. In our devotional this morning, we see it says in Job 33:13, "Why dost thou strive against God?" And so this would be giving God credit for the silt that comes in and ignoring the fact that we have all of that water that comes in. And so does God have a plan for that? Yes. Because God is all-knowing, he knew that man would choose to reject him. Sin would enter into the world, and so that sin would have to be dealt with in some way. And God had a plan for that. That plan was forgiveness, and it came through Jesus Christ. See, the penalty for sin is death. Man couldn't pay it himself, and so God provided a substitute in Jesus Christ. And when we accept God's forgiveness, grace and mercy flow into our lives. It's absolutely amazing. So let me ask you, would you open up your life? Would you open up your heart to the love of God that is really experienced through grace and mercy? Pray that you would. Pray that you make preparations for God. Pray that he would give you understanding of how things work. And while I just have a dirt hole here, there's going to be a time when there is going to be abundant blessing flowing in here. Make preparations in your heart for that. May God bless you.